hear this upstairs as Layla here, because you hear it through the floorboards. What's this? You think I would not notice? I allow you to have helpers once in a while, but this is too much. And he speaks too. What is this?
I am a follower of the goddess Alona, and I am just traveling the world.
Oh, by Heronius, I don't believe any of your kind can follow a true and beautiful goddess.
If I was gifted with her natural magics, would you believe?
Are you trying to insult me?
No, not one bit.
Fine, I have nothing to be afraid of your kind. Prove yourself, little one.
Okay. What's your... What are there any animals that are local to this area?
I don't know. I mean, cats, dogs, large rats. You know, you're in a city, right? Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen cats, but how long has it been since you have seen a panther?
A panther? No, last time I fought a displacer beast. Yes. Slayed it. I actually killed it with his own noodly tentacles. I beat it with it. Give me a...
Haven't seen one of those.
Yes.
I would love to see the scratch, but I can do this. Panther. And I just
and since you don't attack immediately, right?
No. I sit down.
That is most curious, this thing that you can do. Not one of those wizards of the Sages Guild, that's for you. No wild utterings and motions of hands and such. That's
back to being a kobold. No, I was wandering around, and one day I was blessed by the goddess. So I've just been trying to find a purpose, and I think I found one.
Roll persuasion. He's more befuddled than anything else.
Yep. Come on, persuasion. I have a +3. I have a +2 to this roll.
Well, whatever you are, I don't... Prentice, Latimer, take him away. It can wait outside. He might end up shitting on the floor or something. I just don't care about it. It's just...
Either way, you have a beautiful house. I love listening to your stories, and I'll wave like I'm not offended whatsoever and leave.
As it's coming out of your hide, Latimer. Like, yes, sir. And by that, I mean your salary.
As we're leaving, you're that is a wise man. That's a logical response to kobolds, and I think he's teaching you responsibility. It's taking time, but I think it's worthwhile teachings.
He looks at you and goes like, well, we were going to scrub the dishes next. I needed you. Wait outside.
I'm not going to wait. I'm going to go look around the town. I helped out a whole bunch.
But enough to keep his master happy. And you're finished. And Leo comes down, it's like, and again, once the moment that he was out of his sight, he back and glory days and blah blah. Almost as if he was never there. Like one moment there was a moment of clarity. Oh, thing. And now the thing has been removed from his eyes. Like, oh, everything's fine with the, you know, maybe not. There's not a lot of there in his mind left after all these many years of fighting and being, bunked in the head or something like that by who knows what else after he's fighting, if he actually fought anything at all. No. And yeah, anything else you're gonna do before you're unceremoniously told to, you're done for the day, be at peace?
And I did my thing. I don't know what Barakat was trying to do.
Well, I don't know how viable it's really gonna be to try and get in legitimately through this guy. He seems like not a great option. So I'm not really sure if we should even like try at all with him.
That's really your call because you were the in for that situation. I just set it up.
We got the missive though, which might just be good enough, right?
Well, this at least tells us that it at least gives us the name that we can probably follow up on.
I'm
Looking
gonna
at
be
this,
honest. This guy seems a little bit out of his element at this point. So
I wasn't referring to Mr. Prentice. I was referring to the name on the missive.
yeah, but
I noticed that there's multiple different temples and shrines and halls.
Yes.
With various names that seem like they do relate to specific gods or deities.
Yes.
Could I make a religion check to see if there's any of them that would be closer to Alona than the others?
You can make
within relation.
check. Yes.
Okay. Come on, -1 to the roll. No idea.
Yeah, outside of the Alona, you really know much about these human deities, right? You
Well,
didn't
it's
grow
also
up.
the fact he's never learned about them. He doesn't even know about Alona. He just follows what he thinks.
Yeah. And she being a chaotic good deity, it fits. It fits. She's happy with that. She doesn't really care.
Do you want me to try with religion?
Well, yeah, because he would wander around, but then he would get back eventually because he wouldn't want to leave his friends around. And it comes up from so maybe we can get in if we go to one of these shrines and I'm like, hey, I'm with Alona and we have business. Could you help a kobold out?
it might work.
I don't know as much either, unfortunately.
These human deities, most of these deities apparently are human. Don't recognize them from your experience.
No elf deities, no kobold deities.
Oh
God.
Gar knows everything.
Gar has such a big brain.
But he's not there, so unless you got back together and you asked him to. Oh, you're just outside? Wait a minute, you're just outside with a battalion of soldiers? Oh, okay.
That changed for
Casual
you.
military incursion pays no mind.
I mean,
You
they're just kinda,
Hugh
like,
would not
chilling on
be
the
near this
street.
military incursion. He would hide.
So people are going around Gar and all these silent men there guarding, basically. And I mean, you're in the Freeman's Quarter right now. So you're inside the city. Yeah. So, I mean, you're part of the retinue of the Lord, so they let you in. But, I don't think that would work anywhere, everywhere in the city. And so you come out, and when you're coming in, the guard maybe arrived a little later. Once you come out, Gar is there with his 15 and his commanding officer, so the 16 troops. And Latimer's like, is, and he looks at this turtle, wearing his. Can I help you, master? A turtle?
It says no.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll be going home now. Thanks for the help. Saved me half a day.
Probably keep
Anytime,
going.
anytime you want to help, I'm sure that I'll be around. You know where to find me. Mm. I mean, you know where he lives, and he knows that he's hangs out in the vault in the hall, so and works here, so you probably know most of what's important about this guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have the missive. If you ask Gar and Gar knows, the closest deity is one that Gar like to associate with, because it would be Hall of the Sun God, which
Yeah,
would
that makes sense.
Yeah.
closest to Alone, at least.
So is that Paylor?
That it will be Paler, yes.
Okay.
And Paler is not dead.
So with that information, he'll be like, "Thank you. You guys go look for other options. I'm gonna go." And he just runs off, full on, little arms swinging.
Yeah.
Okay then. So, oh,
Yes.
Lael, could you let me read that thing you got?
Oh, sure. I thought this might be something that could give us a different angle if necessary.
Mhm.
I found it cleaning.
Right, right. So what exactly is it again? Besides a
It is a an invitation that was a year ago to the annual Winters Hardby Marines Ball. This particular one was done to celebrate the retirement of one Captain Vance, friend and ally to the Hardby Marines, who has served faithfully Greyhawk and alongside the Marines for a very long time, and yeah, so basically he was retiring, and they dedicated this particular party, which is an annual party, to Captain Vance.
Okay. Uh, and was Garvog? He was he an actual Marine or was he just one of the guards?
No, he's a captain of one of the ships that the Marines are stationed on.
Sure. Okay. So Captain Vance.
It's not advanced, no, just Vance.
Yeah, just Vance. Okay.
Now we're staring at Robert's seat.
Well, Gar, this is your kind of deal. Do you think we should go try and meet this captain or try and replicate some kind of invitation to the Marine Corps somehow? Uh, Not yet, I guess, no. He was just doing official business stuff.
Right, and the thing I needed was a contact, and that's what you guys are up to right now.
Yeah.
So if you got me a contact and said go meet with them, then I'd probably go talk with somebody.
I guess if we could get Kix to meet the captain and then somehow use that to get in, that might work.
Yeah.
Um, we do need to figure out exactly where he is, though.
Good point. Technically the owl doesn't have to go through any gates or provide any
Yeah,
any forms. You go
Yeah,
spy on whoever you want.
but he would have to know
yeah. We
what
don't
he
know
looks
who
like, who he
the
looks like. I
captain
mean,
is.
yeah.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
he'll be like, I see humans. There's a lot of humans down there. Yeah, it's yeah, but the thing is getting to the right person in a relatively big city like this and happenstance listen to the right conversation. I mean, the owl could help search for Captain Vance, but I don't know if that would be the primary way of looking at them because you have no clue. I mean, it's how many captains are in this port city here. It's a lot of people.
Can we post a sign to the owl that says, "Are you Captain Vance?"
Also, he's retired, so
He is retired.
nah.
Um,
I mean, you can come up with a clever way to do it, then I'm all for it. But just listening to people, it's yeah, no, that's. I mean, it would be very it would be very much very moving. Hey, the owl flies and lands here, and they're like talking about Captain Vance. That's what happens because that's what we need to do to move the plot forward.
is does this letter have anything else on it besides just being an invitation?
That's just an invitation, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can put the word out that you're looking for Captain Vance, right?
Yeah.
That'd be easier.
Uh, we might want to talk with Kix and tell him.
While you're doing that, Hugh, you're running through the city, going through the legs of people, and you get to the temple, and it's a relatively large temple, uh, with almost like the hall of the sun. It just says actually, yeah, it's right here. It's cathedral like, with a lot of windows, stained windows, painted in it has white plaster and bright colors, mostly yellows and golds. Not real gold, but rather the painting they use to simulate, mostly yellow.
Yeah.
And it's open. People are coming in and out. You hear kind of murmur, like perhaps there's midday. It's midday, so the prayers are going on. Midday prayers are going in. That's the most important. Well, sun, three times of the day. Sun up, midday, and sundown are always important moments of the day for Paler.
Are
In
there
different ways.
locations to pray inside the space, or is it one group prayer?
No. It's you see, it's like a church, like it has pews and everything else.
Yeah.
There's a small group of people close to the altar praying, and there's a priest ministering to them. But around them, people are also walking in, like almost
Oh,
if you go to a like if you go to a cathedral in Europe and tourist attraction, people are coming in and out, but you always have for its intended purpose, right? So it's both. But the people that are coming in and out probably are official of the church, acolytes, that's the thing. Because it also doubles as a sort of the center of operations of the church in the city.
it makes sense. Hugh will go find a spot to sit, but in one of the pews, but not close to where the proper prayers are happening, because he's tried to pray once in his entire life, so he has no clue how to do it. So he starts off by putting his head down and just putting his hands on his knees he's like, thanks, Alona, for being real cool to me. Everyone judges me, but you don't. And then he waits to see if he feels different.
As you're praying,
Kind of.
a young lady passes and they looks at, oh, and looks around, and you don't care, you have your weapons are peace bonded, and you're
100%.
well dressed. You're well dressed.
yeah.
And it's like
He's wearing his
she's-
very fine clothes, or his
Yeah.
quite fine clothes.
and she looks at you like, and she shows herself and gets someone. She's clearly a lay person, and finds an acolyte, and the acolyte sort of, hesitantly approaches it like, excuse me?
Yes,
Oh, you speak the common tongue. Oh, I see.
I do.
Ah.
I speak a couple different tongues. I can speak the common tongue, the tongue of dragons, and then I can also talk to giants.
Oh, very interesting. I see. And out of curiosity, what brings you to our wonderful house of the sun this
Well,
lovely day?
I am a, what's the word? Consortant. No. Consultant. That's what it was. I don't know what it means, but I'm a consultant of a baron who needs to speak with the mayor. And we looked into one source, but that guy was that guy was just talked a lot.
I see.
And my information tells me that Paylor is relatively close to the goddess which I follow. So I figured if I could speak to someone, maybe I could get assistance in this task.
And pray tell, and you have your holy symbol.
100%.
Pray tell, what does a dedicated follower of the lady wished with the clergy of the sun god? If I may be so bold.
One, personally, aside from what I'm asking about for potentially getting the ability to go into the Marine Quarter to then set up to speak with the mayor and all of that kerfuffle, I just want to know how to actually religion. I've never done it.
How to actually.
So
wait a moment. I will. The head priest is finishing prayers. He will. He should
Absolutely.
speak to you as soon as possible. And he
Thank
says
you
something.
so
He
much.
says something to the young lady. You don't recognize the language. It seems to be a human tongue of some sort, but it's not common. Although it has some words that are common.
Okay.
In common with common, if that makes sense.
It totally does.
But not enough of them. Right? It's like
Spanish and Portuguese. They're similar,
Kinda
but
like that, yeah.
there's differences.
And in fact, when you find that a lot of the prayers are in that language, there's some words there, but not a lot of them. And one thing is that you feel you don't know what it is, but these words feel ancient, like truly ancient. Like they you can feel the sort of power in these words as they're spoken. Even though, they're not to a god or goddess that you pray to, but they still have that charge. And eventually, the young acolyte goes to the priest and it's like, priest comes over and it's like, may I sit with you?
Absolutely. And I'll scooch over.
And he sits. We, for obvious reasons, do not have the kind of visitors of your.
You can say it. It's all good. I understand. You don't get kobolds because they were typically vicious animals that just kill people and take their stuff.
Well, you haven't done that here, so.
Oh no, I have.
That,
I have no intention to.
therefore, we should not cast aspersions on yourself. such as it is. Besides, all our children under the wonderful race of Elona. I'm sorry, Paylord. And well, I am curious. You said something about you serving a master.
Absolutely. So I was traveling in the woods because I
Yes.
had been kicked out of my home,
Oh,
all because of a pet spider that I had.
oh,
It was. I understand though, because spiders took over our home before that, so it's okay. And then I came across this group, and one of them's now a baron. But we want to speak with the mayor in order to establish relations. I think that's what he said. I don't know. As far as I know, that's either to talk to him or to get him in bed. But that's just from what I've heard of people talk. But I figured, since the first person I talked to was boring and not fun and just kicked me out of his house, maybe if I come to a place where they worship someone close to Alona, I might be able to get some assistance.
well, the sun always shines upon us of the world, and Elona always appreciates the gifts from on high, the warmth, especially in cool winter days.
And I'm willing to do something in exchange for this assistance, whether it be monetary or if there's
Oh
a
no
task that you need.
no. We,
But
no need for that. Although I appreciate the. It's you're not a member of Flocka.
additionally, I have one other question.
Yes.
How do I religion? I've tried to pray 2 times, and it's felt okay, but it's not felt special. And I think I'm following the way of Alona, but I don't know. I helped build a temple to Alona back in Greyhawk, but and I've earned the name the Arrow of Alona, but I don't know if I'm doing it right.
It's a surprisingly common theological question. Some of us, I suspect you're one of those, received gifts from the gods to be their messages upon the world. In my experience, though I'm not a recipient of any of these gifts, but I know most of them adventurers, champions, etc. I noticed that how can I say this? They're vessels for which the power of their deity. If I understand it, the Lady of the Forest helps the creatures of the forest and the humans who tend to it. Helps them survive the dangers of the forest, protects against malevolent creatures. Have you been doing this?
Absolutely.
Well,
That's my goal.
well, there's your answer. Now, I cannot tell you should feel a very special way. The word special is, by its very definition, difficult to tell. Everyone feels different. I, for one, know that I am filled with the light of Paler when I wake in the morning. It gives me energy to carry on with the day, even in the most difficult and overcast times. But each experience has to be different, little one.
That makes sense.
So perhaps next time you call upon deity to assist those in need, if you feel her power course through you, then that's the answer right there.
Maybe. Or maybe me doing what I'm doing is bringing her will to others.
That is also a good way to do things, yes.
Either way, if there is a means which you could maybe assist, or even if you'd be willing to speak to the Baron which I work under to help achieve this goal, that would be very. I'd be eternally grateful.
Oh,
But
he is welcome in the House of the Sun anytime. Yes.
Perfect. Additionally, I disagree with something that you said.
Go ahead.
You said that you were not given a gift from Paylor. And that is wrong. You were given wisdom.
That's some people have called that a catch-22. Were I to say yes to your words, that would be unwise. Were I to deny them, that'd also be unwise.
Right there. There it is. Either way, I'm going to go inform my Baron Kicks the Shield of the possibility that you may be able to assist. And thank you for your words of advice.
Very well. We do close our doors when the sun comes down, I'm afraid. So if any visits have to happen, I would welcome them during the day.
Wonderful.
Just
And
so you
he
know.
will confidently leave the building. And is there a location for a tithe or donation?
There's a box
He will.
by the exit, yeah.
He'll donate 5 gold.
Yeah, it's a box with a little slot for the coins, yeah.
Yep.
The box is like 8 big. He's not the Messiah. He's a very
Well, if he says he's not the Messiah, then he is the Messiah. But if he says he's the Messiah, then he's not the Messiah.
But if he claims
But
to
if
be
he's
the Messiah,
not the Messiah, then he is the Messiah.
exactly. Thus, claiming to be the Messiah or the refusal of being the Messiah makes him the Messiah.
We better get some diviners on this.
Oh gosh, it started to fight again.
Oh no!
and Gar realizes
Involved now.
what all the orc armies could not.
Oh no!
He just burned the entire city down
Oh.
without lifting a finger.
Gosh.
Like, why don't you go talk to that guy about? Just,
We all know Gar's ready to burn down civilization if he has to. Little does he know, he could just do whatever he wants. He's got the key.
It's
He's
true.
found it.
But I go back to I return to Kix,
Mhm.
and I inform him
Oh,
of
welcome
a
back.
very wise man in the Hall of the Sun God that may be able to assist.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. And do you know what they have to offer?
Oh, he's the head of the clergy at the
Mhm.
Hall of the Sun God, so he's probably important.
Hmm. Well, I should hope so.
He's also very wise. Like,
Well, again, I suppose I would hope so.
yeah, because like I was questioning if I knew how to pray, but then like he made me realize I don't need to be in a church to pray. I kind of pray when I go and hunt and do it respectfully, and like I influence people. Like that's my work, I think.
Right.
And he called me a cup.
A cup.
Did
Yeah.
I say that?
A vessel. He called me a vessel. That's like a cup or a bowl, right?
Oh.
I guess that does translate similarly, but I think maybe he was trying to mean something more metaphorical.
Oh, I don't know what that means, and I'll just go walk off and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, and Kix is like now confused, like, what does he mean by that? And I guess Bearcat also is going to come back with his news.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what have you
everybody-
found?
Well, before Hugh took off, we did some stuff, and we have an invitation from the Marines or whatever to this night that was about a party basically, and it was for a Captain Vance who was directly tied to the Marines, who might be a person of interest.
Ah, I see. Do you think they'll take well to us crashing their party and asking for favors?
Well, the party was a long time ago. He's
Oh.
retired now, so it's. But if we can find him, we might be able to have him get us in, or if he's in there, maybe use him as some sort of reason to try and get in.
Right. So you don't know where he is right now. We can't simply go and ask him how he feels.
No, not yet.
Then,
Though we could probably just ask around in some of the nicer areas, and they might know.
right. Then in that case, Bearcat, I'd like you to go and do more research, and if this lead that Hugh found doesn't pan out, I believe that'll be the next course of action.
Okay.
All right. Well, at least I've taken my bath today, and I've had plenty of time to clean all of my nice clothing. Time to meet with head of church.
What time of day is it?
It's early afternoon.
Okay, in that case, just from like in the hammock he has set up in whatever space we're in.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, they close the doors when the sun goes down.
Tell me, where are you staying? Because you have a very large retinue. So where are you staying with everybody?
Right. That's something we didn't clarify. I just figured would happen on the side.
Most
Uh,
inns will not have space for all of you. You
Yeah.
have to probably rent a house or something if you can find it.
mhm.
I'm perfectly fine on my own. Thank you, though.
Oh, as am I.
I mean,
if
that's
it
As long as they don't
true,
kick you out of the
but
city due to
let
vagrancy.
me put it this way: the fact that they don't need sleep, that attracts a lot of attention. Like,
Mhm.
as long as they're walking in and doing whatever they're doing, but the moment they just stand there for hours on end, we're like, wait a minute.
So, like,
Yeah.
for housing, if it matters, Hugh does have rustic hospitality. As much as he's a kobold, he's a
Yeah.
good person who can speak, who can find someone who's willing to take him in.
Right.
Especially
and
now that he
actually
doesn't have a
it's
giant
similar.
wolf spider.
So given that we have such a large party, we could both end up working together. Me because I'm a folk hero, you because you well, everyone
folk
also
hero.
loves you too. For the same reasons. They just go, oh right, you're the really cool person who lives out there. Why don't you come sit down and tell us your stories?
It's more the fact that Hugh will go through an entire neighborhood of like poorer people knocking on their door. Every single one.
Green territory unoccupied, south of the bastion of the Shield Nation, could camp out there with your troops. Right. Or perhaps this fine family has offered their barn to the large amount of people who have to sleep and places indoors for the rest of us.
Okay. That'll work. For a little
Gar, if
while,
that's
anyway.
acceptable to you.
I mean, as I said, I can just head back out to the woods. It's perfectly fine.
There's also the crypts of the Ruby Sorcerer.
Ah, hey everybody, let's go sleep in the crypts.
Hugh is totally down.
All right. Oh, Gar, you can have your shell. There's a barn to hide your troops in so that no one sees them for too long or sees them not sleeping. And for the rest of us, we at least have a place to stay.
Okay. Yeah, but the crypts are inside in my quarters, so that's bad. Anyway, so yeah, but so you settle that. So it's still. Let's go back to the time of work. Mid afternoon. Couple hours an hour or so after Hugh had his talk with the priest. What are you guys doing? He informs you of this. What's your next step?
Right, and they said that the doors close at sundown, so I probably need to actually get out there before then. So
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll be heading out. If anyone wants to come with me for this talk, feel free. I think Hugh, you probably ought to just because you set this up.
Absolutely.
And they'll be interested in seeing you again, I'm sure. For whatever their weird reasons are.
I mean, I literally have nothing to do, so
Oh.
I
Gar would actually like to do something that night when he went to rest. Splitting up between time. Research. Oh, before night. Oh, right. So yeah, you're gonna go do it now. Okay. Got it.
I mean, if you'd like, I'll accompany you, but I don't know how much help I would be in your negotiations.
Well, I suppose it depends on if you just want to come and visit a few locals of Pelor.
Not particularly.
Well, you can always hang out with Gar.
I don't think Gar will need my help.
You two have fun. See you later.
Well,
Just immediately. Like,
can help me ask people who this Captain Vance is.
Very well. How do you speak to people exactly?
Oh God. Well, you approach them, friendly like, and you speak common, and uh, you ask them if they have a second, uh, if they know who a Captain Vance is, and
They'll.
if they ask you why, just tell them that uh, we're with a Baron, and he's uh, a bit of a fan and interested in meeting him, or something like that.
Oh, we just need to lie. That's all.
Yeah, just lie.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Though I have a question, but how do you get them to respond when they don't?
Well, you can either go to the next person, or uh, you can try and like catch up to them as they continue walking or whatever,
Hmm.
and just try and
Actually,
to get them to say something.
this brings up an idea. Is there an
Right.
area? Well, I don't. I have no money, unfortunately. Is there an area in the city, lesson, since we've been here for at least a day, where we've seen a larger amount of like uh, guards or folks who would be from the military retinue that are outside of the Marine Quarter or the dock quarters?
Aside from the militia manning the walls and most of the again, you have the regular militia presence. So yeah.
Okay. I would like to go near that area, and I'm going to take out my flute and I'm going to start playing it until see if we can get a crowd going. Like an area where, like, I guess there would be a large amount of the militiamen present.
Yeah.
And I probably play really terribly. It's interesting where you see a guy hold the flute with the tips of his toes, as to keep it steady while he puts it in his mouth and uses his one hand to play the notes.
10 is average, so
I mean, the sight of it probably looks amazing, but like the playing itself is probably pretty blasé. And I'm hoping to draw a crowd so then Barakat can do his thing.
sounds like a good idea.
And then do a perform for me.
Oh dear. I'm so sorry, Barakat.
I
Ooh.
mean,
I have a 6.
Yeah, most people are like you start playing the flute, and what they do is they give you a wide berth. And I was like, yeah, they don't want to say anything, but at the same time they give you. Would somebody just shove that flute up his plank and keep walking? Yeah,
um,
it was a good idea. Yeah,
My second idea was just to scale the walls and sneak through to find the guy, but that, you know.
I mean, you could do that.
Oh, I know I could.
we're just attempting to avoid crime first. Granted, you could also just do everything you want behind Kix's back. He's just a big stick in the mud.
I guess I'm just gonna try and talk to people and see if less of if they know who Captain Vance is, but if they know someone who would know him. Just like the people passing by, I guess.
I'm not there. I have an idea,
Roll,
but
roll an
something to
investigation.
Sure.
Again, you got to narrow it down. somebody. I'll get to Gar in a moment. Yeah.
Okay. That's the wrong one. That was rolled with advantage, but whatever. Um. I mean, we could do the reverse. I don't know how good you are at talking to people, though.
I'm not.
Great.
Oh, the other option is available. Like I said, I can just scale the wall and look.
We could go talk to the other church that's nearby,
What church?
or whatever this is. This bastion of the Shield Maiden.
The Vascular Shield Man.
That seems fairly militaristic. It's not like the Navy places, but they might know something.
The Bastion is a church, not a row, but actually, who it is because your Cavalier Paladin servant serves her. And I forgot what.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, relatively. Actually, it almost in the way that. Yeah, let me see. Yeah. Anne Iron Stripe. It's a lady. It's a Lady Mayaheen, the Shield Maiden.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it is fairly militarist. In fact, you can see that it's part of the wall, even like one of the major towers of the wall is built into it. So it's one of the strong points along the wall.
So we could go there, and the military is probably pretty close to the Navy. They might know someone.
It's an idea. I'm not against trying it out.
All right. So I guess we'll go there and see if anybody knows about Captain Vance.
This is spoken like folks have no idea anything about the army or navy.
Oh,
Bro,
it's gonna
I'm
be
playing a
hilarious.
bard, okay? I can't go the army and the Navy. I have
Just
to.
think, if Wraith was still alive, you'd be in already because he has contacts with the military.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that the Army military police is pretty close to the Navy in a port city. So yeah, I guess we'll go there.
I guess.
You can go there. Yeah.
I'm just curious if it's more of like the real life relationship between the Marines and the Air Force and the Army, where they respect each other, but depending on where you are, they're like, why are you here?
Yeah. It's like walking into the recruiter. I want to join the army. And you hear in the Navy. Dun, 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 dun. You're like, okay, this is the wrong office. Never mind.
Squids.
Yeah.
And they're crayon eaters.
Oh dear.
And that's true, but don't tell
Yeah.
that to a Marine.
No, don't.
They will give you a yes, sir.
They won't.
They'll tell you, yes, sir, that's correct, but with a face like, and don't ever speak to me ever again.
So,
Yep.
Bastion of the Shield Maiden.
Yes. Unlike the Hall of the Sun God, which was a cathedral, this is literally a fortified position alongside the wall. In fact, you can see that the wall sort of meets in the middle on the two sides of the bastion. It's mostly a tower with a decorated 4 to 5 entrance. And there's 2 guards in mail wearing the tabard of the with the symbol of Mayaki standing there. Just very different, rather unwelcoming.
Yeah.
Compared to the other ones. I mean, for civilians, I suppose. But the doors are open.
Okay. Yeah. So
And
It's
as
up to you, Barakat.
as you approach, one of the guards say, "Excuse me, services will not be until 2 days from now."
yeah. Well. Um. hmm. That complicates things. Uh. Well, we're with a baron who's just arrived from out west, and we were just hoping that uh to try and talk to someone related to the military and such here, uh, so that maybe he could meet with someone. He's he was a fan of this some person, a captain, Vance, but we don't know where to get him. So, but and I also hear he's retired.
Stevie
But
recognizes that. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I know
but
not of
mostly we were
any.
just
Not
hoping
not.
to go on, go on. My
I
apologies.
know not of a Captain Vance. Like I said, services will be 2 days from here. From today, if you wish to return, then by all means, you will be welcome. The lady shall shield all those who come within her protection.
Well, do you know anyone who might be able to talk with us or the Baron himself um, about certain military things or meeting this person he's a fan of?
Well, like I said, services will not be until 2 days from now. Perhaps you can talk to the lady priestess once she is available. But and she probably will welcome any and all to take shelter under the shield of the lady. But for today, if you're not an official, I'm afraid that I cannot let you in.
Well, what exactly counts as an official
Well, I'm a member of the
here?
church, or the Church of
Uh,
Rao, or someone who has been invited to speak to one of our members of the clergy.
what? The gate's named Militia? Huh.
I've been standing on the side listening to this. They said the deity's name like Raoul.
Rao is a deity of peace. Mayahan is a lady protector, who is a sort of a kind of like a saint, if you will, under Rao, right?
Yes.
Demigoddess, who lesser goddess that was sponsored by Rao. So
Alrighty, that makes sense.
Yeah. And this place is just about as locked down as the entire Marine Quarter.
I mean, how can I say this? It's very different. It's
Guard
very
tower.
different, right? It's very minimal in its approach, right? Um, and your description of what they're saying, they don't have a reason not to welcome you back when their service. That's their
Like,
job, right?
I have an advantage being a bubbly personality kobold follower of Alona who just does because I draw attention. This is a case where, because we're not in Greyhawk and we're not dealing with nobility, other than that one guy who was verging on it, I'm kind of at a little bit of an advantage in this situation.
Okay, but whatever. Describe why do you have an advantage in this particular situation?
Because people want to see me fail. They will point me towards people to see me fail.
These guys are nice enough. They don't want to embarrass yourself, and they don't want to embarrass the whole situation. Yep. They're not. I mean, they're polite.
Gosh.
They're being polite, right? They're not being aggressive or like that. They're not taking that posture. You don't have to do the inside to know that. It's just that they're just, following instructions, following orders.
I motion for Barakat to follow me for a second.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
I say to him, perhaps you should let me try my own method of perhaps finding this. His name was Vance, you said?
Yep.
At the very least, I can maybe find information as to where he is, or find a way for everybody to get in through the gates. Either works.
Just don't get arrested.
I think I'll be okay.
Otherwise, do anything. Literally.
Lale smiles and
Well,
what
maybe
time?
not murder.
I ask, what time of day is it?
Evening is approaching.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna bring I asked Barakat to follow me.
Okay. So while you're trying to do that, since
Yeah, go
I
do
don't
what you
want,
gotta
I don't want Knight to skip over Kix. Kix, you're with you. You walk into the church. They're preparing for late afternoon prayers before the church closes. They're setting up candles, and you can see that one of the interesting things about this setup is that the light, they have different areas. So midday prayers are done in one area, and they're always done on the light of that's shining through the. Oops, we lost Robert again.
Yep.
That comes from the windows, right? So the idea is that they're always illuminated by the sun. And in this situation, it's a light that is coming. We see the church is orientated to the east. Orientated to the east. So now it's a light that's coming from the back of the church to the west. So now to the the situation is that now deeper into the church, but they're preparing to set up candles or setting up things. What do you do? There's no layman here anymore. They left.
Right. So it definitely looks like people are going around. So Hugh, you already said that you've arranged for a meeting with their head, right?
I've let him know. He said, come by, make sure that we're open. And he did not tell me that he could not help.
Then, in that case, I am looking for the most important person in the room.
I'll point him out. If I see him, I'll point him out.
Yeah, you see a human wearing white vestments with gold trim, and a sunburst on either side of the shawl that he's wearing. He was also white.